Be careful. She was probably trying to get you in some diddler stuff. You better be careful. I'm gonna get into some diddleration.
Girl, listen, I have been approached for that as well, but was like, no, thank you. Flattered, but no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm gonna tip out.
Yeah.
Am I going the right way?
I know. No, the other way.
A 3, a 2, a 1. Hey, everybody. People, we get so many comments about that. They love it. Welcome to Read This, Read That. I am Jackie Reed.
I am Joyanne Reed.
Hey, cousin.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, you. Look, my hair is back for all of those who hate me playing with my hair. Guess what? It's back, bitches. It's back.
Swing it. Swing it. Swing it on them haters.
Girl, we had to block so many people that were like, nah. I was like, look, be blocked and be blessed, child. Right, we ain't got time
on your journey.
Yeah. We don't have time for it. But anyway, how are you? You look amazing. I love shoulders. I think whenever somebody has like, and I should do this more too, because I think it just adds a little pop of
a little baboon.
Yeah. A little
like this. Supposed to be fabulous.
Very
cute. Now,
you
can see that it says queen.
Yes. Where are you going? You going out on a date? You and Jason got a date? What's going on? What's the vibe?
I'm actually going nowhere. This morning, I said, let me put on something that's going to elevate my mood and cheer me up. Because I'm stressed out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put on a top that's going to say something fabulous and something fun. And I'm going to make my clothes direct my mood.
I love that. Does that work for you? Oftentimes, can you like makeup, hair, clothes, and you feel like a new person?
Yes. Like I literally, I mean, even though my name is Joy, I'm not always joyful. I know that's shocking to people. I'm not always inherently joyful. Jackie knows me well enough that she's seen the grumpy, angry Joy. She's seen the no joy. And so sometimes I'm just like in a mood. And it's like, I actually have, I love t-shirts. And I have all these t-shirts that cheer me up, like my James Baldwin t-shirt, which is my favorite t-shirt. If I put that t-shirt on, I just feel better. If I put on, my mustard shirt, I feel happy. Like, and it's like, I literally do sometimes dress I dress to change my vibe.
Yeah. Yeah.
And putting on a cute outfit, when it fits, that's the issue.
That part.
When it fits, and especially when it fits well and it looks good and you look good, I really do think it's true that when you like the way you look, you actually feel better. I think that's true.
Yeah, there's that. And I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this. There's nothing worse than having to get ready for a big event, red carpet, you're moderating something, you're on the stage, right? It's not being on TV day to day, but it's like a bigger kind of thing. There's nothing worse than, you're working with a style, you're trying to find that right outfit and you're trying on and nothing is working.
Nothing fits.
Oh,
it's like you literally, it's the worst feeling in the world. And it's so funny because I used to be that skinny chick in high school and in college. I was so skinny. You talked about it in a previous episode of how you were rail thin and a dancer and everything. I was like a stick and people used to call me olive oil. That's how skinny I was, which meant that while I was an A cup and I was not fond of that, I could fit in anything. Like not everything fit unless it had to have boobs for it. I literally could put on anything. I could go into the store and try on anything that was in a small, pop it on. I was a size 8. At one point I was a size 6. I remember when I graduated from high school, they were handing out the dresses and I was a size 6. It's hard for me to even imagine myself being a size 6 now, but I was a size 8 shoe and a size 6 dress. And I was skinny. I was always skinny. I ran track, I was a nerd, but I was like an athletic nerd. I could play basketball. I was like a little athletic person. And then I had kids, child, and I never looked back. I never looked back. Was never skinny again. I was still slimish for a while, But now when I try on clothes, it's a roll of the dice, honey. It's a
Yeah.
roll of the dice. And I'm either gonna feel real great or I'm gonna feel like crap. And a lot of times it's the
Oh,
latter. You're just like, damn.
yeah.
It
It's
hurts your
I mean,
feelings.
the worse than trying on outfit after outfit and nothing is working and this and that
Ugh.
is having to settle for
Yes.
something that's in there. You gotta, because you gotta go. This is it. The,
Gotta
the
get
event
something.
is tonight or it's tomorrow, and
Yes.
you're out of time, and so you gotta go with the your most favorite of what it is, but you don't like the fit or the look, or but you got to go with that. That's
You
and now
gotta
you got to
go.
go out and be in front of people and microphones and hey, but you're feeling like, oh,
And no one else knows what else you tried on. So they think, oh, you look great. But
right.
you know that you couldn't fit. You know, it's so funny. The second worst thing beyond that, besides that,
Hmm.
is, girl, I should never do this. Never Google your Getty photos.
You're what?
Baby, Getty photos. If you ever have gotten your photo
Oh,
taken at an
yeah.
event, it is memorialized forever. And some of my Getty photos are absolutely abominable. Like, I look crazy. This is before I had a stylist. I'm wearing the craziest shit. I'm like, why did I wear that? It's not fitting
Yeah.
my body. I look big. I look crazy. And I'm just like, and then they get better and better with time because, of course, Danielle, the style marshal, is now my stylist. So I have a
Yeah.
stylist now. But back then, I didn't have a stylist. Back when I was at the Griot and stuff like that, and people
Yeah.
taking my picture. Girl, I looked so bad. I just wish somebody with me. It's like I didn't have enough gay male friends at that point because I have a lot of gay male friends, but they weren't telling me the truth. I'm like, where were the gay men to tell me the truth? I got to holler at Chris Witherspoon because I knew Chris back then. Somebody gay, male and gay, should have been telling me, baby, no, take that off. You look crazy.
But see, you're so sweet. People probably didn't want to say and hurt you. They don't want to tell you. But I'm like, baby, tell me.
Tell
If
me.
you're a friend, tell me. I want to know. I want to know the truth. Which, okay, wait, let me segue for a second because do you want to know if there's something going on like what we're just talking about? If you show up somewhere and you look bad or your style is off or you have a hairstyle that's not working, or if your man is cheating or something going on, right? Do you want to know? Because, and let me tell you why, because a friend of mine said to me, she said, okay, she said, a good friend of mine is married to a guy. And you can marry who you want, married to a guy. She said, I saw the guy out canoodling and being romantic with another guy.
Oh.
And so the person is like, do I say something? Now, this is a married couple, right? So you know how they say don't mess with people's marriages.
Mm-hmm.
And so my thing is like, the advice that I gave, because they came to me for advice, I said, tell her. And they were like, well, that could compromise our friendship. And my feeling is that's the risk you take in telling someone the truth.
Yeah.
Oh, because if it were me, baby, tell me. Now I'm going to investigate on my own and find out, but at least give me that information, because I think it depends on who it's coming from, who the person is. But what do you think? Do you want people to tell you the truth? Your friends now, not strangers on the street. Y'all in the comments, I don't want to hear it. But strangers on the street, no. But my friends, yes.
Yes. Yeah, I absolutely would want to be told, especially.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Because here's the reality too. Like, you don't own nobody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If they are going to go and do what they're going to, I'm not the police. I've always said in relationships, I'm not the cops. I don't have time. I have too much else going on in my life to be an investigative journalist in my own relationship.
Come on.
So if someone else that I know and trust has found some information out, don't leave it to me to figure it out on my own and do my own research. I don't want to do that. If you know something and you have that information, I think it's not really being a good friend if you don't come out with it. You know it's happening. You got to tell. Like, I remember this was a situation I had with a friend of mine whose daughter was dating somebody that seemed real too old for her. And we were in New York and the daughter met up because the daughter and my daughter grew up together. They were friends. And so we all met up and she came along with, it was her dad, her, me, myself, and I think maybe our sons were there too. It was a bunch of us. We all got together. But this daughter came with a boy who was like, that boy closer to my age. That boy was old. I was like, ew. I told the mama, because that's my friend. The daughter's not my friend. The mama's my friend.
Yes.
And so I don't care if that made the daughter never want to talk to me again. Don't trust me. I'm not a good auntie. Sorry. That could be a dangerous situation where this girl is with a man that is definitely too old for her. So I did tell. Yeah. And dad was there, and I'm not sure why the dad was not alarmed by it, but I'm like, that's not on me. The parents are divorced. And I was like, that's not on me. I'm not friends with the dad. I'm friends with the mom. So I did call her and tell her. And that may be some snitch stuff, but I did snitch. But, or if you have a relationship that you know the person is in an abusive situation or a dangerous situation, and I've said to someone, you okay? Like, and I think you have to try, if you're a friend, to intervene, to help, but don't say definitively. You could say, look, I saw, how's Mike doing? Oh, he's fine. I saw him the other day, and he was with this guy, Richard, who I definitely think is gay, and they seem a little tight. Y'all good? Like, you could do it in a way that's not like you're saying something's definitely happening, but just ask some leading questions.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, I think, well, you already know, girl. I
know you would. You'd be like, no, look. Let me tell you about your man.
Girl, I'm gonna make sure that he sees me. First, I'm gonna go up and say, hey, Mike. Just wanted to say hi. How's Carol? All right, then. I'm gonna tell her I saw you. Okay, now, bye.
Bye.
Girl,
wait, can I tell you about a story? Let me tell you a very quick story from before I was like this. Back when Jason and I were doing video dub plate, right? Back when we were doing our reggae music video show, we did an event in a club. Because, when you're doing a music video show, you're going to do a lot of events in clubs.
Yeah.
This is how daffy I am. This is the reason I have to be honest, because I'm not good at this, right? Girl, this man who was one of our, at the time, executive producers, we had brought him on to help us raise money. He was terrible at it. He sucked at the job. But we brought him on to try to bring in sponsorships and, bring some money into the situation. He shows up at the club event with this woman. And because I don't, girl, I forget people's names, and I forget sometimes people's faces. So they walk up to me and I said, hey, okay. Oh, it's so good to see you. And she's like, oh, we've never met. I was like, and then I turned to him and I said, I met your wife before. Baby, that was not his wife. I said, I met your wife before. And he's just looking like he's already light-skinned, but he went even more light-skinned. He went white. Oh. And he was just like shaking his head like, and then Jason pulled me, he's like, that is not his wife. And I was like, ew. 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 Sorry.
You want to rewind.
So don't cheat around me. I'm the wrong person. I'm too daffy to lie for you.
Blew that man's spot up.
Girl. I said, I met your wife before. He went.
Wow.
That relationship probably didn't work out, either one.
Yeah. I mean, listen, sometimes you tell people and they stick with it. Like, I had a girlfriend whose boyfriend at the time, when he and I were one-on-one, he made a pass at me. I told her, I said, hey, now, listen.
Okay.
This boy made a pass at me. Girl, they are together and married and happy today.
Did she get mad at you?
No, she didn't. She was just like, she just, I don't know. It was almost like she just kind of took the information and was like, okay.
She'd be careful. She was probably trying to get you in some diddler stuff. You better be careful. I'm gonna get into some diddleration.
Girl, listen, I have been approached for that as well, but was like, no, thank you. Flattered, but no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm going to tip out. Am I going the right way?
I know. No, the other way. It's hard to tell.
No, ma'am. So what are you drinking?
Girl, white grape juice.
Girl, you make everything look so classy. I love it.
Is that Martinelli's? Girl, if I drink Dr. Pepper, it's going in a fancy glass. So again, these are the ways I cheer myself up, with artificial things like clothing. And glasses.
That's true, but a glass will definitely lift your spirits. I mean, if I'm having water, it's never in a water glass.
No.
It's always in something that just elevates
Elevate.
the experience. Yes.
That's right.
Elevate
That's
it a
right.
little bit. That
Because you
definitely.
know what the thing is? Life is short and you have things in your closet, in your cabinet. You might as well use them. Like there's no point in waiting until you have a glass of wine to use your wine glasses. I'll drink orange juice in a wine glass
Yeah,
because it
same.
just makes me happy. It's like it's a mimosa, but it's not. But it's
Yeah.
I'm gonna vibe it like it is. You know what I mean? Because you gotta find ways to cheer yourself up, especially in this insane world that we're living in today.
Ooh, child. Insanity is for real.
Yes.
That is so true. The world is a crazy place. So what's your wind down, my dear?
Well, my wind down is not going to be a surprise. My wind down is the reason I'm so tired is we are T minus 2 weeks from show launch for the Joy Reid show. I am super and we have a brand new promo for the show.
Oh,
I'm going to hand over to our wonderful Camille so that she can add it to this. And so you can edit it in later, Camille, but here's the promo. We all see what's happening today, and a lot of people are frankly scared, just freaked out by all the chaos and the cruelty and just the pace of it, never knowing what comes next in any given moment of the day. And a lot of people are asking themselves, where can you even get good, reliable information to help you navigate this mess when your crazy high school friends are spreading disinformation online and in your text groups? People want trusted voices, and not just on cable news. I mean, cable is expensive. Well, I always say scary is caring. So I'm about telling it the way it is. And you know this. But you know what else is also caring? Paying attention, yes, and getting involved to the extent you can. But also taking some time to laugh. Literally laugh at the fools that are conducting the madness. And maybe even just have a little non-political actual joy. See what I did there? So for all the aunties and uncles and youngins and Uber drivers and just folks who come up to me all over the country and asked, where can we find you next? We need you. I got you. Let's do this. And I have to say,
I'm excited.
I'm excited. And then the song that you heard at the back half of that is Q-Tip and A Tribe Called Quest, Electric Relaxation. Tip is like one of the coolest, nicest people in the world. And he and the rest of Tribe, God bless Fife, God rest the spirit of Fife. They authorized us to use their song in our promo. And he was super nice to do that. So thank you to Q-Tip. Thank you to his incredible manager and his amazing team, Kim, his manager, and everybody. So appreciate that whole squad for letting us use that for our little cute promo. But yes, June 9th is the official date. Read This, Read That is getting that date first. Nobody else has that date except you all here on Read This, Read That. You guys exclusively have the date that the Joy Reid show, and I know it's supposed to be Joyanne Reid, but it's a long story. It's just easier to make a Joy Reid show, y'all. Don't even play with me. You know my name is Joyanne Reid, and all the people who really know me. But the great thing about that is it delineates, because everyone on Read This, Read That knows I am Joyanne Reid.
That's right.
But the show is called The Joy Reid Show, and that's it. So yes, The Joy Reid Show is launching June 9. I'm so excited. It's going to be great. So I'm hoping I will be the queen of YouTube, and it's going to be.
You will be, because people are going, girl, the numbers are going to be like pop, 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 like popcorn. It's like the number, you're going to get to 1 million on YouTube. I predict June 9th, I would say by the end of July.
I love that. Well,
if not sooner, you're going to have 1 million subscribers on YouTube.
This is what we're hoping for. And so what I'm hoping people will do, and of course, you guys know you're following all of us here on this incredible podcast, Read This, Read That. But you can find, we're making it real simple. You can find the show at thejoyreadshow.com. That's it. You don't have to do anything special. You just
So
type
easy.
in thejoyreadshow.com. You'll go straight to the YouTube channel. You can then do two things, which I'm going to ask you all to do. You can subscribe to thejoyreadshow.com YouTube, and then make sure you go back and subscribe to the Read This, Read That YouTube. You should be subscribed to both of our podcast channels.
Yes.
And of course, you should also be subscribing to Jackie Reed's incredible podcast and Substacks,
Yes.
which are the Jackie Reed Experience and Vegan Sexy Cool. If you subscribe to all of the things,
Yes.
you'll never be without us. How will you miss us if we won't go?
We're everywhere. I love that. I love that. And one day I'm going to be consistent about posting content. I'm like, just come on through, y'all. Subscribe. One day it's going to be consistent. No, but I'm excited. I just want to ask you this. Yes. What can you tell us about the show? Like, what can you tell us about what to expect?
So basically, the show is going to be similar to what we did at the Readout, except without the commercial breaks after 7 minutes. We'll be able to have real conversations. We've already recorded our first 2 interviews, and we're going to have a special prequel episode that is going to drop this week. Okay. And this prequel episode is going to be my interview with Ross Baraka, who is the mayor of Newark, New Jersey. Right. He's talking about all the things, his arrest. He's talking about the fight that he has against this private prison in Newark, as well as his run for governor. And the gubernatorial primary, the early voting begins June 2nd, and the primary is June 10th. So this is really relevant. If you are in New Jersey, or you have friends in New Jersey or family in New Jersey, you're going to want to watch this interview and really consider voting for this brother. Because when I tell you, this country needs fighters in place to deal with this insane regime. And if we don't have strong governors who are willing to stand on business, we're going to be in trouble, y'all. You do not want to let New Jersey fall into the hands of a mushy moderate or a Republican, even worse. Ooh, so pay attention to this interview, listen to what he has to say, consider voting, and do not stay home. Please do not stay home if you live in New Jersey. So that's the first interview. But then our premiere episode, this one is so much fun. And I just rewatched it the other day. I've watched it like 4 times. It's so much fun. Our premiere episode will feature an interview with the great Amber Ruffin.
Oh, love her.
The comedian extraordinaire. She is our day 1 interview. That's going to be on June 9, 2015. And the show's going to feature my takes on issues. I'm going to do sort of a Rachel Maddow-y readout, John Oliver-y style take on things. We're going to have a great interview in the show, top headlines, and every Friday is going to be Freestyle Friday. And we're just going to go live and interact with our viewers. So.
I love that. I'm so excited that you're doing this, because you have been itching to reconnect with an audience in this way for a while. And I'm glad that you're doing it independently. It's the best way to do it these days. We're not going to do a deep dive on the problems with mainstream media right now, but you know, it's good to have more voices out there bringing us news and information, voices that we can trust. And that's why I'm so excited about this. And I'm happy for you. And it's going to be really, really successful. I can't wait. I'm so excited. And I'm not going to give the details, because I'm going to let you do that when you're ready. And I know you're not ready now, but I'm very excited about a component of this that's going to happen. And I'll just let you, we talked about it when you told me that you were doing this. I was like, I got chills. Y'all you want to tune in, because there are going to be a lot of special things happening with the Joy Reid Show. She's going to tell you about it, but you just don't want to miss an episode. You do not want to miss an episode. That's all I'm saying.
And it's going to be every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We're going to start out 3 days a week, and then we're going to build up to 5 days a week, because Jackie Reed said that I have to have wellness in my life. So Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you will have the Joy Reid Show. Every Thursday, of course, you will have Read This, Read That. So 3 days out of the week, you ain't going to see us. I don't know what y'all going to do. You will have to read our Substacks or something. Y'all going to be, you'll be like, where's the cousin?
Well, I know. Where they at? Where they at? That is hilarious. Well, congratulations, cousin. I'm so excited. I know it's been a lot of hard work, but it's going to all pay off. It's going to all pay off. I'm very excited.
Our friend. Well, what is your wine? Let me drink my white grape juice to you.
Yes, girl, I got the bottle out today, so I got my Prima Pave, and I love this stuff so much. the Rosé Brut. This is like made in Italy. It's so delicious. I love it so much. I just brought the bottle because it's a celebratory day.
It is.
It is. So my wind down is, girl, your little sister, Tiffany Cross, and I, girl, we got another animal we are trying to home. We said we're going to do a reality show together, taking these poor dogs and finding them fabulous homes. So we have a dog that's a 100% purebred schnauzer. Okay. So cute. Owner, difficult time. She had a lot going on. She was on her way to take this dog to the shelter. A girlfriend of mine, who I'm very proud, she's one of my trainees. Who she hasn't had a dog, I don't think, in her life, and now she has 3. She had 2, and I was like, girl, she was keeping a dog for somebody, and I said, girl, go on and keep that 3rd dog. Those people don't want that dog. It's going to be better off with you. So now she has 3. She always says, Jackie, I have you to blame for having 3 dogs. But now she is going to start grooming dogs and boarding dogs. Like, she actually lives near you, and I've told you about her before. She's the dog whisperer. People leave their dogs at her house when they got to do this and do that, like all kinds of.
Oh, this is that friend?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. She's so great. So she was on the phone, heard this girl was going to take this dog to the shelter, was like, no, please let me take it. I'll find it a home. So she called me and she was like, okay, I did this thing. I'm trying to find it a home. I was like, okay, wait, you need to do this, this, and this, because she was going to send it to one particular home. But I said, I don't think that's a good fit given what the dog's been through.
Right.
And I was right, as I usually am.
As per usual.
Girl, light it up in the comments so we can block you.
Light it up.
Light it up in the comments so we can block you. No, but I was just giving her some advice on doing this. And sure enough, the place where she wanted to place it didn't work out. So I called Tiffany Cross and I was like, girl, we got another dog. And I was like, it's in your area, blah, 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 blah. She was like, I got the perfect family. So girl, we were on the phone today dealing with this and texting back and forth. I said, girl, we really need to have a reality show of placing dogs into fabulous homes. So anyway, we were joking about that.
I love that show idea, actually.
Right? It really, like, we love it so much because, you know, as well as I do now, and this is new to me, this side of Tiffany, but she is really a dog lover and close to becoming a vegan. Girl, I'm working on her. It's just a matter of time.
By the way, other than you, I don't know, you and Evan, the little kid that my kids grew up with the big hair, the little Latino kid, a little Latino kid who used to be my 5th son, my 4th child. He's now my 5th because now I have another Dominican one. Anyway, the one we grew up with that gave us Turbo. Right. The 3 of you love animals more than any people I've ever met. I've never met anyone who loves animals more than the 3 of you. And I'm not sure what order it's in, to be honest with you, because I mean, he used to pick up injured birds off the street. So he might be number 1, but you 3 are, you're 3 of a kind.
Oh my God. Sunny Austin too is a big animal lover.
Oh, she is a big animal lover. Absolutely. Yes, because she has 2 enormous dogs.
Girl, and cats. She got cats too.
Oh, I didn't know she had cats. Okay.
Oh, girl, let me tell you, we have a list of people that we have compiled of who to, like, in situations to get dogs to and cats to.
You're like an underground railroad for animals.
Girl, listen, we are working it out. But I love this side of her, and I love just kind of interacting with her in this way because there's just that profound love for animals and really willing to do the work because it's a lot.
And by the way, she doesn't have a dog. Like, she doesn't have a dog because of, you know, her situation isn't right for a dog. But what's so interesting is to watch Tiffany interact with just dogs on the street. Like, if we're just walking down the street and she sees a dog, she's in love with that dog and she is best friends with that dog. My animal, my dog and my nephew, Escobar, love Tiffany. Oh my God, they love her so much because they know that when she comes over, she's going to roll around on the floor with them. She's going to give them all the hugs and all the love and all that stuff that I ain't doing.
I'm that way too. I am just like, I love, love, love animals, and I'm going to be on the floor and I'm going to just have them all in my face. And just like, I love animals too. And, you know, it's a lot of work. You know, when I showed up in the place that we took that last dog that I had to, and Tiffany met me there, girl, I couldn't even park. Like literally the car was not in park. She was pulling the dog out. She had opened the door and was pulling the dog out the back of the car. And when I tell you, I never held this dog again. She is such an animal lover, such a dog lover, that I love it. So girl, listen, if we start a reality show,
pick this show up, Hollywood, quick. Listen, yeah. I'll jump on the co-EP. Let's do this.
Listen, you heard it here first, but as your friend, no, you can't.
No more things.
I'm such a protector of you. People, if they don't know that, some people got that in the comments. And that's my segue to my other wind down, is that, so there were a lot of comments, girl, over the selfie at your colonoscopy situation.
My God.
I don't
These people are never going to let me do another colonoscopy there.
Girl, they'll be fine. You were so nice, and they can just blame me because you never said anything bad, right?
They were great.
Well, that's not you. It's me. They can put it all on me. But Tiffany, like me, you know, we are protectors of you. And so and we don't mind people not liking us because of it. Like, I could care less. The only thing, I mean, I did have to block some people. And you can't block people from viewing you on YouTube, but what you can do is block them from commenting.
Right.
And nobody can see their comments. And so that's what I had to go in and do with a lot of people, because of course the people who sided with me, I'm a medical professional. And I think it is totally inappropriate, but there were people that were like, there was a medical professional who was like, I see no problem with it. Like, it was pretty, like, we got divided. A lot of comments based on that issue. And I can honestly say that it was pretty equally divided.
Interesting.
But what wasn't equal was the vitriol of the people who were who disagreed with me, but also wanted to come for me. Baby. Oh gosh, yes. I was like, one lady was like, and it was mostly Black women, which was really good. You know, girl, I'm an investigator. I'm gonna go and find you. And
who are you?
Who's making this comment? But just like, I really, I say all this to say that I really hope that people find a way to. I hate when Black women put down other Black women.
Should not do that,
especially when it's not warranted. You can disagree with me all day. I don't care. But people are like, you look old, and that's, and I'm like, what does that have to do with anything?
Well, that's not even true.
No, girl, not at all. Like, if you knew how much I love how I look, and I think that I look gorgeous and, age appropriate. So it's just like, it doesn't hurt my feelings, but I'm not a supporter of the negativity.
Right.
This should not be space for both of us. And we've both been on the receiving end of negative comments. So there were just some people who were just like,
too much.
Jackie, let it go. You went on for 20, and those people I let stay because they weren't, if there wasn't a cruelty to it. Like, there were some cruel comments that I was like, no, you just gotta go.
You gotta
go. But all the people that agreed with me, nobody was nasty. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't, make of that what you will.
No, I attract the crazy. I mean, I do attract. Yeah. I mean, I have to say, even in every form, whether it's YouTube or you should have seen my old Twitter feed.
Oh, I've seen it.
Baby, when I tell you, I had to get off Twitter, not even just because of the MAG on the right wing. I'm talking about the Bernie people. Uh-huh. At one point on Twitter, the K Hive came for me. Now you just back up. Kamala Harris and I are mad cool. Like, cool.
Yeah.
And the idea that the K Hive people decided I was the enemy. And so at one point I was getting a vicious stream of K Hive people. And I found it kind of funny. So I'm like, they have no idea that I actually personally know Kamala Harris. And she and I are great. I think she's amazing. But they're, oh, baby. I had them. The Bernie people used to be so bad. Sometimes I used to have to mute. And I don't usually like to mute people or delete. I usually let people scream into the ether. I don't care. I'm not going to block you. I had to start muting and blocking Bernie supporters. And I'm like, y'all are on the left and I'm on the left. But y'all are treating me like I'm a murderer because I'm not going out and stumping for Bernie Sanders. It's not my job to get Bernie Sanders elected president. That's not my job. It's not my responsibility to make him win over Black people. If he can't get enough Black people to get the nomination, it's not my fault. It's not my job. But people thought if I wasn't literally making him become president through my magical joy powers, that I was winning. And I'm like, well, I can't literally put that man in the White House for you, so I don't know what to tell you. It was wild. I mean, sometimes, and then to say nothing of the right wingers, the MAGA people are just like rape threats, death threats. Like they take it too far. But the left people can be mean too. So it's like, unfortunately, there is a coarseness and a meanness to online conversation. People feel like because it seems anonymous, it's like the old comment section. And people take liberties with feeling like they can say anything. It's a weird thing where back in the day when like Marilyn Monroe was famous, or like, you know, back in the olden days when people who were public people, you couldn't get to them. You were never going to talk to them. You were never going to see them on the street. That was just never going to happen. And so no one would ever, one wonders if people would have been that way back then. You know what I mean? When there was a different vibe. Now it's also lateral. You know, everyone it's just this person is on TV, but you can get at them. You can talk to them. You can communicate with them directly to their face. And people sometimes use that as an opportunity to go at people, which I think is kind of crazy.
It really is crazy. I think people kind of lose their minds. And if they were confronted, you know, if they see you face to face, I don't think that they would have the same energy, right? It's something about the anonymity of being hidden behind, or even if you're not anonymous, you know, there's this separation. Even though you have the access to say what you want, people are like, I'll never meet that person. I'll never see them. And there's also the attention seekers that are like, let me say something mean to get attention because it'll be funny, or it'll be, but they forget that there are actual people that you're targeting, and people actually often see those comments. I mean, thank God that Jay-Z and Beyonce protected Blue Ivy when she was younger from all the hateful and negative comments that people were putting out there towards a child.
And I bet she did see it though. And you know, bullying is the cause of a lot of suicide among young people. And I would not be shocked if she did see it. You know what I mean? Like there's no way she was going to be shielded from all of it.
Girl, listen, Beyonce is the kind of mama, she don't play. That woman does not play, based on what I've seen. I've never seen her parenting style other than up close. But if you look at Blue Ivy, like there's a moment in the Homecoming video where, I think it's in the Homecoming, I can't remember, but it's a video where Blue Ivy gets excited about something. She's much younger. So I do think it was like during Homecoming. And she said something out of turn. Her mother corrected her on the spot and was like, you don't speak that way. I wish I could remember the exact situation, but if you look at Blue Ivy, she is so well-behaved, well-mannered. You know, not that I see her 24/7, but compared to some other celebrity kids out there, you know, she just seems very well-adjusted. I would be surprised if they let her have access. You know, like I wouldn't be surprised if she was like, you don't see her on social media. She doesn't have a social media account.
Right. Yeah, unlike like Kanye West's daughter, Northwest, who's all over social media. And I've always thought she's way too young. She got on there really young. And the thing about it is, look, I've experienced it with my kids, and I was just on cable news. And people would come after my kids, and they are literally not public people, but because, you know, I would tag them for their birthday on Instagram, and people would use that as an opportunity to attack my children, which is why I stopped tagging them. You know, I literally stopped tagging them because it's like, they don't need the abuse. They're kids, you know, now they're adults, but when they were kids. And I remember there was a time, even in person, where we were at Global Citizen. Remember the whole Global Citizen festival? I took the kids to the Global Citizen Festival, and people were coming up to the youngest of the kids, who was at the time probably 12 or 13, and asking, could they take his picture? And I was like, no, this is a kid. You cannot take his picture. Just because he's my son does not mean you should take his picture.
Right.
And they had this is actually in the time around when I met you. This is when I was at the Griot. Was it Global Citizen? It might not have been Global Citizen. It might have been Essence Fest. It might actually have been Essence Fest. It was at some public event that we were doing, but I'm fairly sure it was either Global Citizen or Essence Fest. I can't remember which, but either way, at the time when I was definitely this happened when I was at the Griot, girl. And I don't know, I must have told you this story before. One day I'm at the Griot. This is when I was managing editor of the Griot. And I'm sitting there in my little thing, and all of a sudden, ring, ring, I get a call. And it's a woman, and she says, is this Joy Reid? And at the time I had done, a little bit of on air. I had, filled in. I think I might at this point have filled in for Chris Matthews and filled in for some folks. And so I was on MSNBC a fair amount. And I said, yes. And she said, oh my God, I just met your son. He is such a cutie. He is so adorable. He's a Black woman. And I'm like, how did you get this number? She's like, oh, he gave it to me. He gave me your number.
Yeah, I've heard this story.
Remember this? Because I know at the time, I told you, because I lit him up in front of all of the Griot. And I was like, okay. And she said, he was here. And then she blew his spot up. I was just here at Chick-fil-A. And I was buying my chicken, and your son came up to me, and I'm checking it off now. He had out lunch. He was in 7th grade. So he was in 7th grade, I believe, at this time. And he had out lunch, and I had been reluctant to let him get out lunch where you can leave campus to go eat, but I let him do it. Now I know where he was spending his money. So the first thing I did was go and look on the little Chase app to see, and there I saw a little Chick-fil-A, because, Chase be telling on you. So check. And then number 2, you gave this lady my number. He is so well behaved. And she had a whole thing. And I said, well, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate you. Take care. Goodbye. First of all, I have a big problem. That lady has my number. Yeah. Running around out there with my number. Call Miles back. Dude, did you just give a random woman my phone number? And he was like, she was really nice, though, and she really liked you, and she's a big fan of yours. I was like, what? So obviously we did, but remember, my kids came from Florida. They were not ready at that time for New York. Yeah. This boy gave my number to a woman. She called me, and she did praise him, but I busted him being in Chick-fil-A. She should not have been eating there. She should have eaten something more healthy. And number 2 handed out my number. So I don't know how this relates to the people taking liberties thing, but it was a liberty.
No, it is. It absolutely relates. And it takes me back to my position from last week, which some people were like, enough. You went on for 25 minutes.
25. Add
5 minutes to that. No, but what I will say is, yes, you are a very nice person. I have been around you when people will bombard you and you're going to miss a flight or be late to being on air, or, you know what I mean? And it's like, my thing is, in addition to being your friend and very protective of you, because, we were at an event and somebody who I told not to take pictures of you took pictures of you. And I made them delete the pictures.
When I tell you, they deleted them things in front of us. I was like, they not going to do it. And I thought they were going to fake it. They deleted them.
I was like, we deleting these pictures because I am, I bring up Sterling K. Brown as a perfect example of a story he told on his podcast of when he was at an event at his son's school, and it was just him, not his wife, he and his son. And I don't know if the son went up and did something and then sat back down, but Sterling K. Brown is Sterling K. Brown, very famous father, actor. And his son was maybe a 7 at the time or something like that. And he said, after whatever they attended was over, everybody came up to him. And he is a lot like you. Very lovely, loves his fans, so gracious, took pictures and interacted with everybody there. His son, he noticed out of the corner of his eye, was pouting, was upset. And eventually his son just took his jacket and threw it on the ground. And after that, he went up to his son. He's like, man, what's up? What's going on? And he said, and I'm paraphrasing, but please go and listen to the story for yourself, because he says something to the son said, this was supposed to be our time.
Right.
And he said that was an aha moment for him. And he said, moving forward, he will say to people who want to take his picture when he's with his family, I don't do that when I'm with my children. He says,
Right.
he says it very kindly, but he says, so people think that when you're famous, that you're theirs. And even though the work that you do is for the people, right? It's for the people. It is. But you don't belong to them. You're allowed to, like, what if you were there to have a biopsy or something much more serious? At what point, like, there should, and I know you weren't made up, right? I don't know about you. I don't like taking selfies when I don't have my makeup on.
Right.
Because what are people going to do with the picture?
Right. It's going to be all over. Right.
They're going to post it, show it. So I just like to make sure that I'm presented well. And if you catch me at the grocery store or something like that, I look crazy. I look crazy. I just like to, if you're out with your children at dinner, right? Or with you and your husband, or just you and a girlfriend, and your girlfriend's talking about something very private or serious. Right. People don't know that.
Right.
And so you just have, to me, I would say to people, you have to be careful with the liberties that you take with people that are famous who you admire, because you never know what they're dealing with in that moment. But people are like, oh my God, I see her, I got to have my moment. But you got to remember, famous people are people too. And you just never know. I mean, I remember being in church one time and I was going through something and I was crying during service and really into the word and just really having a connection. And somebody came up to me in church and wanted to take a selfie. And I said, no. Not in church.
The one time that I definitely said no, and I think I might have told this story on this podcast before, to selfies, was at my cousin's funeral. I went to my cousin's funeral and I'm crying. I'm walking out and a lady walked up to me and said, oh my God, I love you so much. Can I take your picture? And I was like, this is a funeral.
Yes.
I was like, this is a funeral. No. So it just, that one threw me off. And in that case, the coda to that story is then we get to the burial. I said no to the selfie. We get to the burial. We bury my cousin who died very young. He was only 62 years old. Left he's my cousin's husband, but he was, so close. We didn't call him an in-law. We absolutely loved him. We bury him in the ground. We're walking back. So, and you just feel, you know what I mean? This is somebody way too young to be dead. You just thinking about all the things, you're feeling bad. Girl, we walk back to the car and who comes up to me to ask for a selfie? The funeral director. I was like,
I'm just going to cover my mouth right now.
I said, I just don't think that's appropriate, but I am sorry, but I think that's inappropriate. Now, in that case, girl, I snitched like hell. I told my cousin as soon as I could get an opportunity to tell her, that lady you hired, because that was inappropriate. Now, see, to me, now that was inappropriate. This was a funeral.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a funeral for my family, you know what I mean? And we were all, this was such a traumatic moment for the whole family. As the person in charge of the funeral, I thought that was different. That was not appropriate. No. He was in charge of the funeral. I'm like, at first I didn't think I heard it right.
You, people feel like they.
Also, why would you want that photo? Everyone's crying.
They're not thinking. And that's what I'm saying. People just kind of lose themselves. You know what I mean? Medical procedures are serious. You don't know what it is. I mean, they knew, but people were like, well, she was fine with it. I said, well, was she? Was she? I know Joanne Reed. I know her. She gonna say, let me tell y'all she's gonna say yes when deep down she means no.
No, it's fine. That one was fine. The funeral one, though. The funeral one, that was too much. At a funeral is generally a no. So just if you see me at a funeral or a burial, if somebody's going in the ground, if the person has done their last and fought the good fight and is going home to meet their Lord, I'm not going to take that thing.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. If people see when you don't have on makeup, do you like taking selfies?
I do not. No, if I do not have makeup on, I usually am generally because I know that's going to go online somewhere, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know, I don't look great.
Girl, don't lie to me because I've seen you in selfies with no makeup.
And I have been. No, I've taken them. It's not that I don't. It's not that I don't
want to.
So I don't love it. I don't love it. And I always tell people, filter.
See what I mean? But just say no. Just say. But I will say to people, if she doesn't have on makeup, if she says yes to taking that selfie, just know she doesn't want to. So just sit with that.
Sit with it. You said sit with it.
Sit with that. I would say just, there are times, as kind as she is, where she doesn't want to take pictures and she does. I'm not even going to talk about that situation you told me about. I'm not getting into it because I'm just going to go on for 25 minutes.
Well, it's the last thing, and we are being told by our producer, move on. But here's the last thing I'm going to say. Yeah. The other thing I'll say, and you know this, and I think this is another thing about being a public person.
Yeah,
I feel like the main goal when you are at a public thing that's not about you, not to distract. This is my main issue with the Toni Braxton. People are talking a lot about the Toni Braxton outfit at the funeral, at the graduation of her son.
Yeah,
to me, you wear whatever you want. I wouldn't wear that. You know what I mean? And she's a little older than me. So I would personally, I wouldn't wear that. But that's on her. If that's her fashion choice and that's how she wants. I mean, like I told you, I have some Getty photos that are too, I wish that I could burn them. I wish I could go into the internet and take them down. They look so bad. I made some horrible fashion choices in my life and looked awful in some photos that are now all over the internet. But my main thing is it was so distracting. It took the attention off of the son and put the attention on her. And I think if you are a prominent person like that, you could come low key, put your sunglasses on and try to fade to the back. Like if I'm at my kid's graduation, if it's their concert, if it's something that's not about me, like I told you, when I went to Miss Kim's birthday, my whole thing was, let me try not to be the center of attention. And I even suggested to her, don't let
How did that work out?
It didn't, because people were allowed to have their cameras. And in that case, I say, don't let people have their cameras. Because the reality is that you want to let that person shine. You want it to be about them. If it's the thing ain't about me, don't make it about me. You know what I mean? If I'm there for your birthday, then it's your birthday. I don't want to even be talked about or paid attention to. Don't, take pictures of you. The picture should be of you. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like that is fair, that when you're at a thing that's not for the person that is the public person, let that other person shine. Give them their chance.
Yeah. But also, again, let the celebrity, you in this case, be in this moment. Like when you came to the NABJ jazz, not jazz, girl. I went to a jazz.
Oh, you're the concert. That was
the gospel brunch, which you were kind enough, that you were so sweet to come to. And I know you came for me, even though you loved, like you came because it was early. And I know you were up late the night before.
Yeah.
And you came, and I was EPing. So I'm watching you. And when I tell you, you were not even able to eat.
No,
because so many people were coming up to you. You weren't even able to. So I was like, somebody go get her food. And then I had those two people take you upstairs so that you could sit in the green room and actually eat food. Because I know you don't eat when when it's too much going on. But it's like that. You're not even able to enjoy the moment because Yolanda Adams performed. Like, it was a great moment.
A great concert.
I just ask people to just be a little more aware and mindful when they of the place. They get so excited, and I love that people love you in this way. But it's like, just be a little mindful. But back to the comments, not ours, but just in general. Yeah, girl, they were interesting.
Very interesting.
Very interesting. But it was, I have to say, like I said, it was divided.
It was valid. And now you all know, and this is important for you to know, the comments do get read. So please continue to jump into the comments.
Yes.
Nice, but jump into the comments because they are read. Even if you mean in the comments, trust me, those are read too. So just read them.
We read them. You're going to be gone. You're going to be banished. Yeah, because we love kindness. This is a joyful place because joy is here, and we just we love Black girl magic and joyfulness and happiness. You know what I mean?
Amen.
So yes, we definitely could.
I love those glasses. I'm gonna have to
Oh,
get you gonna have to text me later where you get them glasses from. Those are cute.
Oh yeah, I got them from this place called SEE in New York. Yeah, they were sunglasses. Hold on, my battery's dying. They were sunglasses. Hold on, I gotta plug in my computer.
Oh no, oh no, don't let the computer die. No, don't, no.
I got unplugged when I got up earlier. It became unplugged. Yeah, so yeah, they were sunglasses, and I had them just put but when I go, they're what do you call them? When you go outside and they
they change and become sunglasses.
Yeah, are those no progressives are the vision?
No, those aren't progressives. Those are called, I don't remember the name.
Transitions.
Thank you, Camille.
Clutch.
That's what people are always, not a lot of people, every once in a while we have people talk about the editing of the show, and it's like somebody was like, can you stop with the bell? I don't like the bell, it's distracting.
Ring the bell, please.
Ding 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 ding.
Come on, Camille, ring it.
Camille.
I like the bell. How else would we know it's time to move on?
I know. Well, we don't have a lot of shit you need to know this week. There you go. She's like, no, shut up, Jackie. We don't have a lot of shit you need to know this week. But one thing that we do want to talk about is we want to celebrate the life of the now late Charlie Rangel.
Yes.
Charlie Rangel. I know that voice, so distinctive, right? Was there ever a documentary made about him?
Not an official one that I know of, but I would watch it in a heartbeat. I mean, he is such a fascinating character. Like, if you remember Adam Clayton Powell Jr., who was a character in and of himself. There have been lots of documentaries about him. There's a great book called King of Cats, if you haven't read it, about Adam Clayton Powell Jr., just a storied, monumental figure. The person who booted him out of Congress is Charlie Rangel. Charlie Rangel was the AOC Cori Bush of his era. He was a young, I feel like he was Cuban American. He was like a American, Latino American, black Cuban, comes in to office and challenges the great Adam Clayton Powell Jr. in a Democratic primary in 1970 and beats him, goes into Congress and then serves for 46 years, rises from a freshman from Harlem, native of Harlem, all the way to be the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee. And if you don't understand what Ways and Means is, it's the committee that writes the budget, the committee that spends the money that, well, at least before the Republicans got in charge, had the power of the purse. The power of the purse is House Ways and Means. That's where they actually, there's a separate budget committee, but House Ways and Means where the money rolls through. He became the chairman of that. He was also in place and in his greatest power when the Affordable Care Act came through. He was the main House sponsor of Obamacare. So he, in the House, he and Nancy Pelosi are probably two of the biggest reasons you have health care if you have Obamacare. This dude, they called him a member of the Gang of Four. It was him, David Dinkins, Patterson, who was the father of the future governor, Patterson. And I'm going to forget the fourth brother's name, who was a big luminary in Black politics, who was David Dinkins' campaign manager and who was the lawyer to Malcolm X. So he was Malcolm X's lawyer, was the other fourth guy. He was in that, they called him the Gang of Four. They called him he was like the Prince of Harlem. One of the most powerful members of Congress, Black or white, ever in history, died at 94 years old. And his saying was he never had a bad day. That was his saying. He was born a year after my mother. He was born in 1930. In Harlem, New York, and he talked like this.
Such a force. A force. I just, when I think about the death of someone so great and so legendary, it saddens me that in the American school system, kids will never learn probably of him. You know what I mean? So it really is up to us to make sure that we educate our own. We got to find a way to make sure that not just Black kids, right, but all kids in this country are learning about the, Black people in the right, like the truth about Black people, because it's being watered down and erased in such a way, but it just saddens me that you probably will never learn from a teacher about Charles Rangel, even if you live in New York.
Even if you live in New York, or you'll only learn that he left office in an ethics investigation. And, there's a thing about being a Black elected official. You will be lucky if you don't end up in an ethics investigation. They all end up in ethics investigations because for some reason, people always try to find fault with what Black people are doing. The thing he wound up in an ethics investigation for, number one, was being behind on his taxes. And I'm sorry, but there are a lot of people, white and Black, that are behind on the damn taxes. And number two, the other thing was allegedly soliciting money from people who had business before the House Ways and Means Committee, but not for himself, for a charity that actually benefited Black New Yorkers. So this charity, he would say, hey, you should give to this charity. And these people were before the government. And I think that's the reason he ended up in the ethics investigation, because, I am quite sure that the current members of Congress who are trading crypto after getting advanced information from Donald Trump are not going to wind up in front of ethics investigations. And they're not raising money for a charity that helps poor people like he was. They're helping themselves to crypto money. And that is considered apparently not unethical. So I always take it with a grain of salt when I hear these Black politicians getting ethics investigations, or what happened to Marilyn Mosby. That lady took money out of her own 401k and ended up indicted. You know what I mean? So being Black, Andrew Gillum, they went after him for nothing, for reportedly getting to go to a Yankees game when he was mayor of Tallahassee, and then went after his elderly former campaign treasurer and ruined her life. If you're Black and you're in public office, Chokwe Lumumba right now, the mayor of Jackson, under an investigation from the DOJ, it's only a matter of time. Because if you are Black and have any power, trust that you eventually gonna get got. That's just the way it works. So I take that with a huge grain of salt. What I know about Charlie Rangel is he was a very decent, lovely guy. Reverend Sharpton introduced me to him at 30 Rock. I got to meet him. Could not have been a nicer man. And he did so much for Harlem. He brought so much money back to the Black community in New York City. He is owed a great debt of gratitude. And if you have Obamacare, thank Charlie Rangel.
Yeah. Amen. May he rest in power. That breaks my heart. Just the fact that he just won't be elevated the way that he should be. Like, you know what I mean?
He's a legend.
He's a legend. He's a legend. So let's make sure, if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, make sure that you talk about him when you gather with family. And if you have young people, ask them if they know about Charlie Rangel.
And he was a Korean War veteran who got a Purple Heart and a Bronze Star. So he was a Korean War hero in addition to everything else that we've said on this podcast. So Charlie Rangel, Google him, look at all of his great achievements. He died on Memorial Day, which is sort of fitting because he was a war hero. So
yeah, I love that. I love that. Well, that's our shit you need to know for today. We spent so much time just kind of catching up and being girlfriendy. We've spent a lot of time. So I'm just going to pick a topic for us to talk about. And if you have something that you want to kind of throw out there that's on your mind, we were talking about Blue Ivy earlier. And so I really want to talk about this whole Cowboy Carter tour and how nobody's talking about Beyonce really in a big way. Everybody is talking about Blue Ivy and just her being a force out there on the stage. Rumi, her youngest daughter, Beyonce's youngest daughter, has been out on the stage a little bit here and there. But Beyonce, full performance. She even does a solo dance performance too. I want to say it's Crazy in Love, or one of her songs by her mom and dad, which is crazy within itself.
Right. Yeah.
But she's so poised, and her dancing has just gotten better and better and better. That there are these rumors, Joyanne, that she is being groomed to be the next big star, like it thing, like she's being groomed. Now, of course, this has not been confirmed. This is just a rumor, but people on the internet are talking about that and celebrating it. And there was this video of a young Black girl in the audience at one of the concerts, and she was like, "It's Blue Ivy, it's Blue." I think Camille sent me that video where she was so excited. Like, she has this following of young girls, but adults too. They call her the manager, of the whole tour and of her mom and everything. Like, she has just grown up into this amazing young woman. And it'll be interesting to see if she, in fact, follows in her parents' footsteps and goes into the entertainment industry in some way. We don't know.
But isn't she like 13? Like, isn't she?
Baby.
Yeah, she's like 13.
She's so tall.
She's very tall, but I think she's
Yeah.
probably 13 or 14. If Blue Ivy is able to make it and become a star, she will break a very long chain of failure in that regard. It is very difficult to produce both a mother and a daughter that are celebrities. Although I will say you can produce a family of famous people, the Jacksons, where you had Michael and also Janet.
Yeah.
So that's a sister and a brother. There's been instances where you have a broad family who are all famous, right? Remember, the following people are all cousins. Whitney Houston, as well as Stevie Wonder, they're cousins. They're like first, and I believe the Jacksons. Like I think they're all related. Is that the group that are related? I know there's a crazy relationship between it's either the Jacksons and Stevie Wonder or Whitney Houston's family and Stevie Wonder. I can't remember which it is, but I know they're cousins of one of them. And then you've got obviously, well, I'm trying to think of any others, but if you think about stars, if you even go outside of Black music, Julian Lennon tried to succeed John Lennon, the John Lennon of the Beatles. It did not work. Yeah. You see on the acting side, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son is trying to sort of come up and blow up, and that's been kind of
well.
Yeah. Is he getting better? Okay.
It's he was in White Lotus.
Okay.
Schwarzenegger. Yeah, he had a starring role. He did really well, and so much so now the doors are opening for him.
That's good. It can be hard because people will sometimes, it's too comparative. Like I think with Julian Lennon, he just looked and sounded exactly like John Lennon. The Marley kids have been fairly successful. They're like 18 Marley kids, but Damian Marley, I think, has done pretty well. What's the oldest Marley boy that was, so some of the Marley kids have done well. But it's just, like I said, it can be challenging because people are like judging you against your famous parent. Yeah. And so even though it's a privileged position that these people are in, and people are like, well, they shouldn't, nobody should feel bad for them because they have a famous parent and they're rich and famous.
They're Nepo babies.
They're Nepo. They're seen as Nepo babies. And so it can be a challenge. It can be
challenging, but there have been some successes, like Liv Tyler, Steven Tyler's daughter.
Yes.
Went on to be a great actress, not singer like her father.
That helps when you're not in the same exact field. You know what I mean? Yeah. And look, I have a baby that's an actor. So if Jamar Reed is auditioning for your thing, take him because he's not in the same field. And my sister's an actress.
Yeah, but Kate Hudson, Goldie Hawn's daughter, also raised by Kurt Russell. She's a very successful actress. Kiefer Sutherland, father Donald Sutherland, which is really big news to fill. Is out there. I mean, it is possible.
Emilio Estevez, and they are the sons of the guy who played the president.
Martin Sheen. Martin Sheen,
Emilio
Estevez, and Charlie Sheen,
Sheen,
troubled life, but still strong actor. I mean, it definitely happens. Julia Roberts has a niece who's a pretty famous actor on her own.
Christy Houston and Whitney Houston. Whitney actually became even more famous than the mom. And also Dionne Warwick is her aunt.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's Janet Jackson that's Stevie Wonder's cousin. I'm about to look into this now. I'm obsessed.
It's definitely doable. But I think it just has to be done right. I do think that Kanye's daughter, Northwest, is going to be a celebrity. Like she already is, but she's going to be, I predict, maybe she'll change her mind once she gets to college age and want to go in a different direction. But I predict, because it's just in her blood, not just from her parent, from Kanye, but also like she loves it. She thrives on being, I mean, she was in a performance of The Lion King at the Hollywood Bowl, and she's got an album out. She's got hit songs that kids love, like kids really love her. And she loves this world, and I don't feel that it's being pushed on her. And that's the thing. When it's not being pushed on you, I think there's more of an opportunity for you to discover yourself. And the good thing is discover your talent and grow into it. But the good thing is that when you have famous parents, if it doesn't work out, you don't have to do it. Right. There's not that same pressure, even though a lot of kids probably do feel some kind of pressure.
I mean, if you think about it, like in sports, I think there's even more pressure, right? I mean, obviously Kobe Bryant, the father Jelly Bean Bryant, played professional ball. You've got Bronny, LeBron James's son, Michael Jordan's kids are like, are you going to play basketball? Like the pressure. And by the way, I just want to say that my original factoid is even more exciting. Janet Jackson is not just related to Stevie Wonder. Among her other cousins are Tracy Chapman and Samuel L. Jackson. All of those people are related.
Invite me to that family reunion.
I know. That is amazing. She's related to,
I love that.
Janet is related to Stevie Wonder and Samuel L. Jackson. All related, and Tracy Chapman. They're all related.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
Oh, and David Washington, Denzel's son, who is a phenomenal actor. And he has a daughter who's a producer and just produced something on Broadway. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Ice Cube has a son too that's an actor, right? Ice Cube's son.
He played his father.
He played his father in that movie about NWA.
And hello, Will and Jada have two kids.
Yes,
that are out there, and like Willow is killing it in music, and she's a model.
Okay.
And Jaden has music, so it's doable to me. It's doable. Just a tricky thing.
And let's not forget Solange, who's the younger sister of Beyonce, who also, I really love her music. She's actually very talented and very unique and different from her sister and doing her thing as well.
Yeah, her son is actually a professional model.
Oh, okay.
He's all grown up. Blue Ivy's cousin. So it's like a lot of talent happening in that family.
A lot of talent. And I suspect too, the other ones who I think are going to end up coming out there, the adopted children of Madonna. Because when I went to the Madonna concert here in the DMV, I went because we got invited by her management, myself and another coworker of mine back when I was at MSNBC. We got invited. So we got 2 amazing tickets, like right at the front. Bob, the drag queen, was like the MC of the whole thing in this fabulous outfits. It was incredible. And her son is now obviously grown, and he plays the guitar and he's a musician. And her daughter was also singing, playing the piano, dancing. Her kids are all in the show. All her black the kids, they're all that she adopted from Africa. And they do a whole presentation where they talk about the African family of those kids. So they show the mother. Apparently there's still a relationship with the family.
Wow.
Back on the continent of those kids. And they show the birth mother in this giant photo of her. And they sort of they play into it. So it's fascinating because you're like, oh, there's still some kind of relationship with the African family.
Oh, wow.
But they're all talented. The son they're very talented. Madonna's kids are very talented.
And how was the show? Was it good?
Excellent. And I'm not a Madonna stan, but I liked Madonna's music, especially in the 90s. And I was a big fan of that era of Madonna.
Yeah.
That show was awesome. I mean, the video presentations, the interstitials, the music, the fact that Madonna actually plays the guitar, which I did not know. I never knew she was a musician. I always thought she was just singing other people's songs. No, honey, she wrote those songs and plays the guitar and sings acoustic in the show. So you actually hear her sing and see her play the guitar. And you're like, oh, this chick is really even more talented than you thought. Wow. And it's actually quite a great show. I enjoyed it. And I want to go see Cowboy Carter, but girl, try to get tickets. Good luck.
Well, the prices were cut in some cities, were discounted. I don't want to say they were discounted, but they were lowered. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, because people can't afford to go. It's a risk. I mean, we got a Trump recession going on.
Girl,
it's a messed up economy.
Girl, I'm not paying $800 for nobody's tickets.
It's expensive.
Nobody. I'm not doing it. I'm just not doing it.
And we went, and the daughter and I went to see her in Houston for her the previous show. So we went and saw that.
The Renaissance tour.
We went to that. So I'm like, do I want to now go and see this one too? I don't know. It's a lot of money.
Goodbye. It's a lot. Was that a goodbye?
Camille said, all right, we're done. She said, "Rap."
Goodbye. No, yeah, it is. But the thing is, what I love about Beyonce is, girl, she gonna make a documentary.
Yes, there will be a
documentary. I wasn't at Coachella for Baychella. But when I tell you, that is one of my favorite documentaries. I watch it when I work out. I love that documentary, and I would love to learn those dances.
Yes.
Bye. Like that Everybody Mad. Bye-bye. Everybody Mad. Too much money. Hey.
Bye-bye.
We've been told bye-bye. And I think that's it. Everybody mad, including Camille.
I know, everybody
I'm mad. Bye.
I know. All right, you guys. My dogs, wait, hold on one second.
They also said they're also mad.
Bye-bye.
It's starting to storm here. So whenever it's like crazy. So let's quickly try to say goodbye.
Yes.
And that does it for this episode. Read this, read that.
Everybody mad.
Everybody mad. Hey, I'm going to learn to dance one day.
One day.
You're going to see the TikTok one day. But thank you guys for joining us. And we look forward to your comments, your loving, kind comments in our comments section. Please like and subscribe. Tell a friend. We'd love to hear from you because we do read all the comments.
We do.
And if you go to joyannreed.com, forgive my dogs, you can find out all about Joyanne's new show. Hope you enjoyed watching the promo here. Exclusive. Here on Read This, Read That. But mark your calendars. June the 9th. That's when it's happening. So congratulations on that, my friend.
Thank you so much. And be sure to not only like and subscribe to this podcast, you just go right there below, pling on the like, hit the subscribe, then hit the share button, send it to all of your friends, send it to a foe too, just to make them mad. And you also want to make sure that you are subscribing to vegansexycool.com. Vegan Sexy Cool is where you can be not just vegan, but also sexy and also cool, because why would you not want to be all three? What's wrong with you if you only want to be all three? Who wants just one? You can have all three. You can also subscribe to the Jackie Reed Experience and learn all about Jackie Reed's things, all of her fabulous interviews, all of her fabulous stories, her fabulous fashion, all of the things you always want to know about Jackie Reed, the Jackie Reed Experience. You can also like and subscribe to us on all the social media. You can get Jackie shaking her hair on the Jackie Reed Experience. And you can do all of that. Why? Because why wouldn't you? You're a cousin and we love you. So thank you all very much for tuning in. We appreciate you and we'll see you on the next Read This, Read That.
Atata, bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Camille's like, bye.
Camille said, bye.
Bye.